Because even on the television, when something is going on, there are emotions. So that is what, whatever you can. Don't strain yourself, definitely. But whatever possible, let's try and recall. Maximum 10 minutes, but 5 minutes we'll all try to recall. You did not say anything, these two. Is okay with you? Okay with you, ma'am? All right. Okay.
Now it's a 5.
There is a?
5 o'clock.
Okay. Oh, so I'll give you 5 minutes. Yeah, but today we are continuing till 5:30, no? 4 to 5:30 today. Okay? Yes. I requested a change of time today because 3:30 was becoming a little difficult for me. So we said 4 to 5. Correct. Exactly 5. But I think the library closes at 6. Okay. Shall we begin? Again, good posture to take is what we did earlier. Feet not crossed. Hands in the lap. Back straight. Head, neck and back in one straight line. Shoulders square. And chin parallel to the ground. Tongue stuck to the palate. Eyes closed. Watch your breath first. After watching 2 or 3 breaths, start recalling yesterday's events from the time you woke up. Whatever significant happened yesterday, try and recall it without getting into the judgment part of it. Just recall the events along with the thoughts and feelings.
Has produced to this naughty question, the karma theory comes very close to answering the most correctly. So we believe in karma theory, and you will find that more than half the population of the world, or more than half the population of the world, believes in karma theory, whether we consciously admit or do not admit it. But you will find that most of the people believe in it. Now we can understand that karma theory is very, very scientific. How it is scientific is that, okay, we all know that how the rain comes. We know that the water which is there on the earth, because of the heat of the sun or because of the various heat processes, the water is evaporated and it is converted into clouds, and somewhere it is going to rain. So this theory we know. But where that water is going to rain, how much quantity of water is going to rain, that we do not know. So karma theory has got certain general principles, and those principles are like water evaporating, forming a cloud and falling. But how much, where, when, that nobody knows. And nobody, human mind perhaps is still not capable enough to accurately predict. Like, scientists are trying to predict, looking at the clouds, that this is where, and sometimes they are able to seed the clouds and they are able to make a rainfall. So in case of yogis, they are also able to seed the clouds of their karmas and they are able to create a rainfall artificially. That is also possible. But then the disparity can be clarified only from the karma theory most rationally and most reasonably. Now you see, the very obvious thing is there, that whatever we are thinking, whatever karma. Now when we say karma, let us be very clear what karma means. In Indian thinking, this karma word has been very muddled and very confusing, because when we are doing something, we are doing our karma. We say that we are doing our karma. When we go through some kind of misfortune, we say my karma. So as a consequences we say karma, as action we say karma. Now karma is what? Whatever activity a human being, a human organism is performing, that will form under the category of karma. So any activity, even thinking, any acting, it is karma. Now when we are saying we are doing some activity, some kind of cognition is there, some kind of mental activity is accompanied by that action. So this cognitive state which we are going through while doing every activity or any activity, it leaves certain impressions. Where the impressions are left, how the impressions are left, perhaps we do not know that mechanism. But one thing is there, that if you are going through some kind of experience right now, it will have some impression on your mind. And now scientists are saying that even if you think that you have forgotten what you experienced at the age of 2, You are mistaken. It is not forgotten. It is stored in your mind. You are not able to recall it because only you are not able to get access to that file where that is stored. So if there is a sufficient impetus, if there is sufficient spark given to the brain, then even what you experienced at the age of 2, it can be recalled very, very clearly and vividly. That is what science is saying. So according to this karma theory, whatever we are performing, whatever we are doing along with this cognitive states, it is retained in the form of certain impressions, and these impressions are called sanskaras. So now these sanskaras or these activities which we are performing and leaving the sanskaras, if the activities are accompanied by kleshas, if they are accompanied or if they are motivated or if they are started or originated with any strong emotion in the form of raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, avidya and asmita, then it is likely the kind of impression which is going to be left will be of such kind that they will result in some bad consequences. And if they are not guided and motivated by these kleshas and they are performed with some higher purpose, then it is likely that the impressions will be created of a kind which will not cause any pain but which will strengthen one further and one will be able to evolve better. Now one may say that how it is possible. So when we get angry and we say something, what happens? The impressions, the habits of anger, they go on gaining strength. So many times it happens, if we recall, since we did this exercise of recalling, you will find most of the activity we were doing were automatic. Now when we are recalling, we may find that I was motivated by anger, I was motivated by apprehension, I was motivated by fear, I was motivated by love, I was motivated by certain feelings. But now when we are recalling, we are able to identify. But while we were going through that activity, we were not even aware that we are being guided by these strong motivations. Now I'll ask you one thing. Do little reflection on this idea that during the entire day, whatever activities we are doing, how much percentage of that activity you are doing consciously and how much percentage you are doing unconsciously. How much percentage you are doing voluntarily out of your free will, how much percentage you are doing out of some kind of circumstantial compulsions. So you will find that if you are really seriously thinking about it, just think and tell me what percentage you would give to the activities. How much, whatever, whenever. Okay, I'll tell you till now. 60% through impulse. 80-20. Okay. Think still deeply. You mostly.
How you define consciously?
Willfully. Now you decide. When you spoke to me, did you consciously decide that I am going to speak, or it just came?
How do you define it?
So I am asking you. Did you decide that I am going to speak now and I am going to ask this question? Or did it come just the way I was talking and suddenly it arose in your mind and said as a spontaneous act you just asked the question?
That is how you define it.
Yeah. No, I am not defining. I am asking this to clarify it.
My point is,
We'll come to that, but I am just asking you. Did you consciously ask this question or unconsciously ask me?
it comes from mind.
It comes from, everything comes from mind. Every cognition, every cognitive state comes from mind. Yeah.
I don't get control of mind, so I say everything
Yeah. That's why I am asking whether it is voluntary or it is involuntary.
is involuntary
Yeah.
because it's coming
So that is the point, that most of the activity which we are performing is involuntary. So from where these activities are arising? The source is karmashaya. And if there are kleshas in predominant numbers, then it is likely that in our life there will be more pain. There will be more suffering. And if there are less of the kleshas, then it is likely that our sufferings will be less. And when we say voluntary activity and involuntary activity, many people say that, I cook food, it is a voluntary activity. Now, do you really think it is a voluntary activity?
If we go by this theory, my problem is if we go by this theory,
Yeah.
we say everything, it's coming from mind, and we don't have control of mind, so all the actions are guided by...
No, I did not say we don't have control over the mind.
No, I mean, you mean,
Yeah,
for a time,
yeah.
for a person...
I'll say I'll tell you what control we have got.
So the point is,
Yeah.
that let's say today whatever action I'm doing,
Yeah.
say it is coming from the storehouse.
Yeah.
Okay, that means there is a 100% relationship between the action and the storehouse. 100%.
Yeah.
Now the point is on the 0 day. On the 0 day when mine was first light, first day, first hour, first instance. That time impression was 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that time ideally I could not have done any action because actions are coming from mind.
Yeah.
And mine was 0.
Yeah.
So action was 0. So this theory somehow fails. To explain because as on today, I mean T plus whatever, there are some actions.
Yeah.
If I take this theory, then there should be no action because on the day 0.
Yeah.
Because